Hello, dear students. Today, our topic is congestive cardiac failure or congestive heart failure. It is otherwise known as CHF or CCF. In almost all disease conditions which we discussed in cardiology or cardiac disorders and diseases, one of the major complication is congestive heart failure or congestive cardiac failure. So now we can see what is it actually and what is or how management can be done for CCF patients. So it is a common pediatric emergency. And what is congestive heart failure? It is the failure on the part of the heart to maintain an output necessary for the needs of the body at rest or during stress following myocardial failure. So, this is about the congestive heart failure, that is, the failure from the heart to meet the demands of the body. It can be at rest or during stress. The body's demand is not met by the heart with an adequate output. So, this is known as the congestive heart failure. So, in other words, congestive heart failure, it is the inability of the heart to pump an adequate amount of blood to the systemic circulation to meet the metabolic demands of the body. So, adequate amount of blood is not pumped into the aorta for systemic circulation and meeting the demands of the body. In children, congestive heart failure most frequently occurs secondary to structural abnormalities that results in increased blood volume and pressure. So, when you are discussing in pediatric population, congestive heart failure is a common complication of any structural abnormality of children or heart. So, that is about the congestive heart failure in children and what is it. The etiological factors can be discussed in various headings. The first etiological factor is volume overload. So already we have discussed some conditions like left to right shunts. We have seen in ASD, in VSD, in PDA, in these all conditions, there is a left side to right side shunt from high pressure area to low pressure area. So that may cause the right ventricle to hypertrophy in order to compensate for the additional blood volume. So here volume overload happens in the right side by the shunting of blood from left side. So that is the first etiological factor, volume overload. Okay. The second is pressure overload, and it is resulting from obstructive lesions. Like when the outflow is obstructed, it leads to pressure overload. It can be because of valvular stenosis or coarctation of aorta, pulmonary stenosis. In these all conditions, the blood is not able to leave the compartment because of the narrowing of the valve or narrowing of the outflow area. So this leads to pressure overload. So the second etiological factor for congestive heart failure is pressure overload. The next one is decreased contractility. That is primarily the factors that affect the contractility of the myocardium, such as cardiomyopathy or myocardial ischemia can be there. And this myocardial ischemia in children, usually the CAD can lead to coronary artery diseases can lead to myocardial ischemia in adults. But in children, severe anemia, asphyxia, heart block, acidemia, and low level of potassium, glucose, calcium, magnesium. So these all conditions leads to decreased contractility in children and which is resulting from myocardial ischemia. The fourth etiological factor is high cardiac output demands, in which the body's need for oxygenated blood exceeds the heart's cardiac output. So the body is expecting more than the heart's output. So the high cardiac output demands, that is the fourth etiological factor. So we discussed about four factors, that is a volume overload, pressure overload, decreased contractility, and high cardiac output demands. And in these all conditions, what we see is the person will be having decreased amount of output according to the demands of the body it is not able to meet. That is the congestive cardiac failure. So the etiology varies with the age of the patient. Like fetus, in a fetus, the CCF can be because of severe anemia from fetal-maternal transfusion, hemolysis, tachycardia, complete heart block. Newborn, it can be because of transposition of great vessels, aortic atresia, coarctation of aorta, patent ductus arteriosus, pulmonary stenosis or atresia, hypoplastic left heart syndrome. 1 to 2 months, it can be because of transposition of great vessels, endocardial cushion defects, coarctation of aorta, patent ductus arteriosus, aortic stenosis, anomalous pulmonary venous connection. So, in 3 to 6 months, transposition of great vessels, coarctation of aorta, ventricular septal defect, endocardial fibroelastosis, carditis, anemia, nephrotic syndrome, acute nephroendocardial fibroelastositis, then ASD or VSD, and in 4 to 12 years or later, all the above reasons plus the rheumatic fever and the rheumatic heart disease can lead to CCF. So this is the age-wise etiologies of congestive heart failure, like fetus, newborn, 1 to 2 months, 3 to 6 months, 6 to 12 months, and 1 to 4 years. And after that, after 4 to 12 years, what are the reasons for CCF in a child? Next, we can see the pathophysiology of heart failure. So usually it is separated into two categories. Heart failure, like right side and left side pressure, left side failure. So when we are speaking theoretically, there are right sided failure and the left sided failure. So in right sided failure, what happens is right ventricle is unable to pump blood effectively into the pulmonary artery. So increased pressure in the right atrium, right ventricle, right atrium, and systemic venous circulation. So these are the problems in right-sided failure, and systemic venous hypertension will be there, and the person will be having hepatosplenomegaly and occasionally edema. So these are the problems with right-sided failure, because theoretically we are talking like right-sided failure and the left-sided failure. In left-sided failure, what happens is left ventricle is unable to pump blood into the systemic circulation, increased pressure in the left atrium and pulmonary veins. The lungs becomes congested with the blood and elevated pulmonary pressure and pulmonary edema. So in left-sided failure, you can see the pulmonary field and the pulmonary congestion, edema can be happen. And in right-sided failure, you can see the systemic venous circulation will be impaired and it will be getting hypertension. So these are the problems in left-sided and right-sided failure. But when you are looking at a patient, both sides will be affected. We cannot separate that it is affected right side or one person is affected with left side. So in that manner, we cannot explain the heart failure. Usually heart failure means the complete both sides will be affected and the manifestations will be seen. So when a volume change is happening, output change is happening, the body initiates compensatory mechanisms. So that's actually the pathophysiological change what happens. Initially, heart tries to meet the body's demands by working harder. Okay, like hypertrophy and dilatation of the cardiac muscle happens, and beyond a certain amount of dilatation, the force of contraction decreases and the heart fails. So this is what is happening in compensatory mechanism. Like usually the initial time the heart tries to compensate by itself, but when it is failing, again the heart goes for complete failure. So we can see the compensatory mechanism. When cardiac output begins to fail, stretch receptors and baroreceptors in the blood vessels stimulate sympathetic nervous system. So the blood vessels has a stretch receptors and baroreceptors which will be estimating the amount of blood which is circulated in the vessel and the pressure of the blood. So when there is some variation, this will stimulate the sympathetic nervous system. So there will be release of catecholamines. So this will increase the force and rate of myocardial contraction, and the person will be showing tachycardia. The another change is stimulation of cholinergic fibers, and it will result in sweating, especially in scalp and different body parts. There will be sweating can be seen, and that is also the release of catecholamine. Another change as a result of catecholamine release is peripheral vasoconstriction. So when there is a peripheral vasoconstriction, what happens is increased systemic vascular resistance happens, increased venous return to compensate the output, reduced blood flow to the limbs, viscera and kidneys. So when there is peripheral vascular resistance, that's part of that, the blood will be uh, diverted to vital organs, and limbs, viscera, kidney, these all organs will be lacking much amount of blood. So that results in, especially kidney perfusion, if it is altered, there will be production of renin, angiotensin, aldosterone mechanism will be initiated. So sodium water retention will be the increased blood volume, and this increased blood volume will cause systemic and pulmonary venous engorgement. So this is the pathophysiology or the compensatory mechanism what is happening when there is a change in cardiac output. So sympathetic nervous system will be stimulated and release the catecholamines. The catecholamines has three effects, like the myocardial contraction is increased, peripheral vasoconstriction is happening, and the stimulation of cholinergic fibers. So this is the changes which happens in the congestive cardiac failure. Next we can see the clinical manifestations. So when there is heart failure, the first problem will be impaired myocardial function. So in that situation, the person will be showing tachycardia, sweating, decreased urinary output, fatigue, weakness and restlessness, and anorexia, pale, cool extremities, weak peripheral pulses, decreased blood pressure, gallop rhythm, and cardiomegaly. So these are the clinical manifestations of impaired myocardial function. Okay. So the pulmonary congestion will be there, and it will be presented as tachypnea, dyspnea, retractions, flaring nares, exercise intolerance, cough, hoarseness, cyanosis, wheezing, grunting, etc. So the next is systemic venous congestion. In that situation, the child will have weight gain, hepatomegaly, peripheral edema, especially periorbital edema, ascites, neck vein distension. So these are the signs and symptoms of or clinical manifestations of congestive cardiac failure. The first problem is impaired myocardial function. The second problem is pulmonary congestion, and the third one is systemic venous congestion. And we have seen what are the manifestations in each situation in a CCF patient. So diagnostic evaluation, usually diagnosis is made on the basis of clinical symptoms such as tachypnea, tachycardia at rest, dyspnea, retractions, activity intolerance, etc. And chest X-ray demonstrate the cardiomegaly and increased pulmonary vascular marking. Chest X-ray can be taken, and the next one is ECG. So here we can see the ventricular hypertrophy, especially the right ventricular hypertrophy we can very clearly see through the ECG. So next is therapeutic management of congestive heart failure. The goals of treatment, the first is reducing cardiac work. The second is increasing myocardial contractility. The third one is reducing cardiac size for improving its performance. And the fourth one is treating underlying cause. So we can see what are the management which we are doing according to these goals of treatment. So to reduce the cardiac work, we provide bed rest, especially in a proper position at an angle of 45 degrees according to the comfort of the patient. Sedation can be required in some cases, especially the person is restless. Like morphine, pethidine can be administered. Oxygen, usually nasal catheter or hood can be oxygen hood can be applied for children. Antibiotics against any coexisting infection which requires more amount of more demand for oxygen in the patient. Then anemia, if the blood transfusion is administered and it should be slowly administered, then vasodilators like nitroglycerin will be administered to decrease the work of the heart. So these are the activities or the interventions which we use for reducing cardiac workload. So, increasing myocardial contractility, for that particular goal, we administer digitalization or digoxin. We will be administering in a dose of 0.04 milligram to 0.05 milligram per kilogram, and half is given at stat and remaining half dose in two doses at 8 hours interval. Then other inotropic agents also can administer to increase the myocardial contractility like dopamine, dobutamine and ambrinon. Reducing cardiac size for improving its performance. So for that purpose we administer digoxin, diuretics, potassium supplements and low salt diet can be given for the patient. So, for treating underlying cause, because already we discussed that in children, the major reason or the major reason for CCF can be a structural problem. So, the treatment of underlying cause is very important, like treat anemia, hypertension, chest infection, etc. And if there is any valvular lesions, surgery is required, and any structural lesions are present, we have to opt surgical management. So this is the stepwise treatment of pediatric congestive cardiac failure. If it is in the step 1, diuretics will be administered, and in step 2, digoxin is administered. Step 3, we will be administering ACE inhibitors. Step 4 with vasodilators, and step 5 with intermittent dopamine dobutamine. Step 6 with beta blockers or steroids, and finally in step 7 we have to opt the option of heart transplantation. So these are the stepwise treatment of pediatric CCF. Okay. So the nursing care plan of a patient with congestive heart failure, these are the nursing diagnosis which can be listed, like decreased cardiac output related to structural defect, myocardial dysfunction, ineffective breathing pattern related to pulmonary congestion, activity intolerance related to imbalance between oxygen supply and demands, fluid volume excess related to fluid accumulation, high risk for infection related to reduced body defenses, pulmonary congestion, impaired family process related to child with life threatening illness. So these are the nursing diagnoses which can be listed for a child with CCF. So hope you all understood the topic. Thank you very much for your kind listening. Thank you all.